All right, you don't get the big formal open again for take two. We're just going to hop right into it. Welcome on back. Thank you for finding me here on Damon Bruce Plus. I think we fixed the camera. I'm going to keep my hands low. I don't want to cause it to freeze again, but we are back, baby. And let's get into it. The fact that we got some football happening this week, we are 49 days away from actual football season. 49 days away from Niners, Jets, Monday Night Football. Again, it makes me want to touch this button.
Maximum football!
There it is. There it is. By the way, I'm so glad to see so many of you find me over here on the new channel real quick. AJ Cruz saying, hey, Damon, as long as the sound is on, just keep going. Like we like listening to you on the radio and looking at your goofy frozen pick. See, we got standards to uphold here. We got standards. Somebody says, wasn't you, Damon? It was YouTube. I feel, I think you're right about that, True Blue. It's never my fault. My fault? No way. YouTube's fault. Look, I want to start today with the fact that we got a world where the NFL is keeping receipts. There's just no doubt about the fact that football players, football coaches, they go way out of their way to act like they are, above it all. Don't hear the criticisms. It doesn't reach in, but it does. It absolutely does for some of these players and some of these coaches. And we've just demonstrated this with what John Harbaugh has been talking about this weekend. And this is music that must sound like the music that Brock Purdy hears every day. This is the same world that Brock Purdy has to live in, where constant criticism from your detractors just is a louder message sent than what is the actual reality of a football career. Asked about the criticisms directed at the NFL's reigning MVP not reaching a Super Bowl, Jim Harbaugh went on for nearly a 3-minute rant telling everyone how wrong they are about their evaluations when it comes to looking at, Lamar Jackson. And again, we could play this with Purdy. Purdy has had the postseason success that has eluded Lamar, but he doesn't have the regular season accolades that Lamar gets to enjoy in historic fashion. Like, say whatever you want about Lamar Jackson. He's a historically significant player very early in his career. He's only 27 years old. And he's the youngest two-time NFL MVP since the merger. Since 2018, he's got the second best regular season record in the NFL at 58-19. He's led Baltimore's to the best records in 2019 and in 2023. Now, he had an inglorious AFC title game at home against Kansas City. But again, Kansas City's pretty damn good. If you don't believe me, you should by now. He struggled certainly in the postseason. He's lost 4 of his 6 playoff games. But look, Lamar, John Harbaugh, I'll tell you this. Brock Purdy is basically kind of in the same boat with different boxes checked and other boxes left unchecked. And it's still not good enough. In other words, we've officially entered the time in sports where there is a decidedly will never be pleased with what you do element of a fan base, of the media. And look, it gets to these coaches. It gets back to these players. They're keeping receipts. Now, what good do they get for turning around one day and saying, you were wrong about me, I was right, or this, that, the other? Who cares? Everyone in the world loves to point at somebody else in the world and go, I was right, you were wrong. And I think maybe that's why we have so many media members saying stupid things out loud, like, Lamar Jackson isn't a good quarterback. He can't throw the football very well. He's too one-dimensional. Well, look, he has run for more yards than any quarterback in his first 6 NFL seasons. But for a guy who can't throw touchdown passes, he's thrown 125 touchdown passes in 77 starts. That's a lot. So, there's people's opinions which they will put more weight into than the facts of the matter. The facts of the matter is you don't give 2-time MVPs away to young players who suck. And Brock Purdy wouldn't be in position to make $60 million a year next year if he were bad at this. If he had some, moment got too big for him postseason runs that you need to be wary of. Because the guy has not won a Super Bowl does not indicate what he is as a quarterback. Look at his production. Look at his stats. Look at what he's done. You can't single out one moment in time if you're trying to make a career-defining argument. Because one moment in time, by definition, can never define a career. Even if it happens in the biggest stage, even if it happens on the smallest stage, you got to look at all of it. If you step back from Lamar Jackson and see anything other than a fabulous quarterback who kicks an awful lot of ass, you want to see something else. It's at this point in Brock Purdy's career where some media members, some content creators, they want their negative early reviews of Brock to define him more than the fact that this guy has established himself in a short matter of time as one of the best quarterbacks in football, period. That's who he is. I think he's going to have a monster year. Again, 49 days until we are playing real football, baby. 49 days until it really happens. I'm so excited. I want to get there with you. I also want to send you to a great lunch today. That's why I'm sending you to Ike's. There is a new location. It's officially open down in Mission Rock by the ballpark. Ike celebrated his 100th store with its grand opening over the weekend. It was awesome to be there, to go out and support my guy. Let me tell you what they got at that Ike's. They got burgers. I have never had a burger from Ike's before this weekend. It was awesome. I told Ike, if you want to get out of the sandwich business and just do burgers, you could do that. Spectacular. Go get yourself a burger from the Mission Rock location in San Francisco, or you can order a sandwich and do so online using the Ike's Rewards app from any of his other 99 restaurants across 7 different states. But my man is an entrepreneur, a word that I can't even spell, but he is crushing it, and I'm so happy for him. I am so proud to be a partner with my man Ike, and I am very proud to have partnered with the Dubliner, West Portal, and partners, let's partner up and get together this Sunday. It's PluceMania 4, the musical, and it's happening on Sunday at the Dubliner. We're going to get there around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock till question mark. Boy, I hope you're making some plans to come on out and join us. You can take Muni. It's super easy to reach the Dubliner in West Portal. If you're coming from somewhere else, going out of your way to join us, boy, we're very, very appreciative of that. And we look forward to seeing you hopefully Sunday, the 28th at the Dubliner. Around 2 o'clock is when we're going to start getting funky. And we really hope you can make it. Really, really hope you can make it. Love my sponsors. Love the audience. Again, please hit like and subscribe. We already did this on the first stream today that failed on us. So let me tell you once again, you really want to support us here, hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. None of that costs you a dime to support this show greatly. Thank you very, very much for doing so. What more can be said about the Brandon Aiyuk holdout other than it's ridiculous that this situation maintains its spot on the radar? It is unfortunate. I don't know if it is or could become damaging, but consequences of Brandon Aiyuk's whatever this is start to materialize tomorrow. Training camp opens for the 49ers tomorrow, and now Brandon Aiyuk's conversation about his contract becomes a conversation attached to consequences. Consequences of not hitting the year full speed ahead. Consequences of, is there acrimony being spread because of this decision? Consequences of taking away your quarterback's favorite target in a year where you're trying to win a Super Bowl. That feels like it comes with consequences. A holdout that would drift into the season feels like it comes with consequences. Now is when this conversation about Brandon Aiyuk officially hits the clock, and the time is running on the meter now. So I really hope that the 49ers Team Aiyuk can set some differences aside, bridge some gaps in this negotiation, and just get back to the business of trying to win a Super Bowl. Sucks that they're in this situation. It really does. There's another holdout situation happening in the NFL that's starting to come into focus, and everyone involved is basically saying, no big deal, not a lot to see here. And that is Jordan Love is staging a little bit of a mini holdout. It's a hold in where he's actually showing up, but he says he's not going to practice until he hits the field. So Brian Gutekunst is saying, hey, look, we are, optimistic about getting this done quickly. The timing on this matters. Everyone's hard at work on it. But there you go. We'll see whether or not Jordan Love doesn't have a little blip and headache to get through at the beginning of Packers training camp. Training camps open up around the NFL. I saw some footage of Patrick Mahomes uncorking a pass going across his body in the opposite direction. It's one of the 5 greatest throws you'll ever see. No one will ever care about it because it happened in training camp, but God, Mahomes has got a level of ability and arm strength and arm talent that is just like it belies physics. Like, forget trying to measure it against the NFL history, great quarterbacks. Like, Patrick Mahomes is playing a game against physics that not a lot of people are ever allowed to play in sports. He's bending gravity, time, and space around some of the footballs that he's throwing, and that's just training camp. Good God, he's special. Really, really special. But I don't have to tell you because you have been burned by Patrick Mahomes twice in Super Bowls. If you're a 49ers fan, you know all about it. Let's see. Speaking of knowing all about it, we are, again,
Maximum Football!
We officially begin tomorrow. Nothing more need be said on this program about how important football becomes starting tomorrow. Over the weekend, what else happened here in sports? The San Francisco Giants were 1 run away, a run that was scored on a Rocky throwing error, pass ball, something like that. 1 run away from being swept by the Rockies. And what, I'm supposed to pretend that this team is a contender? There's a part of me, because it's Dodgers and Giants this evening. There's a part of me that hopes that the Dodgers beat the Giants 55-0. Like, I don't know if it would be good for the Giants to have a good series against the Dodgers, but by the way, Shohei Ohtani's hitting balls out of Dodger Stadium right now. But I almost hope that the Dodgers so thoroughly destroy the San Francisco Giants that Farhan and everyone involved doesn't try to straddle this illusion of, yeah, we're a contender. No, you're not. You're not a contender. What you need to do is try to get whatever you can get for anyone who's on a bad 1-year deal with a team option. So that includes Jorge Soler and Matt Chapman and Mike Yastrzemski and Blake Snell, who is looking for his 3rd good outing in a row tonight. Maybe you can trade Blake Snell, get a little something for him. It's time for the Giants to quit pretending that all they need to do is sort of rebuild and reload, and there isn't a chance to, they don't really need to get drastic about starting to look forward to future seasons by the decisions that they make now. No, that needs to happen. And I'm trying to be nice about this here. It's either admit your situation as you stand in it, because there'd be more dignity in it. Stop trying to convince everyone you're a contender when you really ain't. You're going to get a real good look at a contender in the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight. Watching this team sell out to make a playoff run this year, so Farhan can say, yeah, I've been to the playoffs 2 times in my 7 years, doesn't do this franchise very good. I don't think it does. It's time to admit who you are, and that is a team that's got an awful lot to do from the ground up before you are really an elite baseball team again. You're just good enough not to suck out loud. That should not be the margin of error that the Giants are seeking. They're just good enough to not be universally made fun of. But they're certainly not good enough to be considered a real contender. So what the hell we doing over here? What the hell we doing? It's time for the Giants to admit who they are and where they are in the competitive life cycle of a franchise. By the way, it's also time for baseball to admit what it's done with its sport, basically fracturing goodwill it's had with its fan base, old and new alike. Do you even know that baseball's Hall of Fame happened over this weekend, the Hall of Fame induction ceremony? You probably don't. It feels like that went from something that in the middle of the summer that used to be a big deal to something that doesn't matter at all now. Hey, you know what? It's the same thing they did with the All-Star game. Baseball can't even drum up interest in the Hall of Fame. This is what happened when you let the Hall of Fame be run by sanctimonious sports writers who are too busy sniffing their own farts to admit half the guys playing modern baseball that we're trying to harshly evaluate as did or didn't use steroids. Basically, everybody was kind of on it. And Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, while they were among the everybody's kind of on it, were so much better than everybody else, but they're still not on the Hall of Fame. Baseball told you the Hall of Fame is a joke and no longer is capable of framing what has happened in its sport with any integrity or interest in the truth. The truth is every single one of Barry Bonds' home runs counted, which means he should be in the Hall of Fame. And if you want to use this as a prism to discuss the wrongs of the steroid era, that's fine, but you put him in the hall. You put him in the fucking hall. And your Hall of Fame is in real time losing relevancy, credibility, and importance. You think that would start pinging on baseball's radar, but it doesn't. Manager Jim Leland, third baseman Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, the only homegrown Rockies player to have reached the Hall of Fame, and Joey Mauer, who was a hometown boy in Minnesota who played 15 seasons for the Twins, they go in to the Hall of Fame. In terms of an awful lot of star power, there isn't. Todd Helton was popular locally. Joey Mauer was popular locally. They were never capturing the imagination of the nation at large. Third baseman Adrian Beltre, really good player. Sure, Hall of Famer, why not? But Adrian Beltre wasn't selling tickets or jerseys or becoming part of the narrative of how great baseball is. Jim Leland smoking darts in the dugout wearing a Pirates uniform is, to me, the strongest memory I have of any of these names when you just, I'm going to say Leland, Beltre, Helton, and Mauer. What's the first thing that pops into your mind? Jim Leland pulling nails in a dugout. He had the best line of Hall of Fame weekend, by the way. He was saying that he was in a coffee shop in Florida with his wife, and he turned to his wife and he said, "Can you believe in your wildest dreams that I've been elected to the Hall of Fame?" And she turned around and told him, she said, "Jim, honey, you are not in my wildest dreams." That's great. That's great. He shared that, got a big laugh from the crowd who showed up. But again, Baseball Hall of Fame ceremony and weekend used to maintain a place of importance in my summer. Now it maintains such an unimportant place in my summer, I didn't even know it happened or was happening until it was over. Great job, baseball. I am in the wheelhouse of people who might still be interested of you, and you can't even tap into my interest. Shame on you. Some other sports news, again, from today, from over the weekend. LeBron James is going to be the United States flag bearer at the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. When I read it, it didn't sit well with me until I found out that Team USA, the 600 members of Team USA vote on this. And I guess LeBron won and carried their vote. Now, I don't know if if their vote is the only deciding factor, but you should certainly factor in what the Olympians think. And apparently they voted for LeBron James. My problem with LeBron James carrying the United States flag is no reflection of him. I really hope that LeBron will consider this one of the single greatest moments of his entire career. There's got to be something very special knowing that you're representing the United States. My problem with this was just simply like, here's another guy who doesn't need much more attention. And when I think of Olympians, even though LeBron has been an Olympian and is an Olympian, I don't think of him as an Olympian. I think of him as a basketball player who happens to be allowed to play in the Olympics because they tweak the rules. Like when I think of Olympian, I want someone who's in an Olympic sport. You know, track and field, fencing, swimming, pole dive. Like if your sport's zenith of success is a gold medal, you're an Olympic sport. The zenith of LeBron's success as a basketball player is measured not in gold medals, but in NBA finals appearances and NBA accomplishments. Sue Bird carried the flag in 2020 in Tokyo. Dawn Staley carried the flag in 2024 in Athens. And with all due respect to the growing WNBA and its championships, a gold medal still, I think, is the high watermark for women's basketball. So that is more of an Olympic sport in my mind than the men's are an Olympic sport. But by the way, South Sudan might change our minds on that. Did you see how close Team USA came losing to South Sudan? It was a bucket. And Sudan was missing a layup bunny at the end of that game for the United States to win. The United States has played enough, I think, basketball here in its tournament run-up to where they should start Anthony Davis and tell Joel Embiid, you go sit down. You're coming off the bench. Joel Embiid doesn't fit this offense. A guy like Anthony Davis does. And a guy like Anthony Davis is going to set your tone defensively, where Joel Embiid, again, is just looking to pad his stats by getting to the free throw line. And that's not going to happen in international play. It's, by the way, that's also why Joel Embiid will never win an NBA championship. If you have to have success from the free throw line to be who you are, you will not be an NBA champion. This is why James Harden will never be an NBA champion. Because if he ain't standing at the free throw line picking up free money, he's not worth nearly as much when he's got to go out and earn it on the court. The NBA pads Harden and Embiid's stats by allowing those two guys to parade to the free throw line. That does not happen in international play. Now, I would say that that is one of the biggest international stories from over the weekend in sports, but we actually have a bigger international story that I just saw happen here. Did it already fall off the front page of ESPN? It did. Hold on. I got to click over here. Oh, yeah. So it fell off the front page. It's on the top of the soccer page. And look out, everybody. Here comes a Damon Bruce talking soccer segment. However, we're not talking soccer. We're talking fish cakes. In my entire life of watching sports, be domestic or international, be on a football field, a baseball field, a soccer field, a basketball court, I've seen all types of delays. You know, I've seen a sprinkler delay in a basketball game. I remember when the sprinklers popped on during a game that San Antonio was playing in. Like they had to evacuate the arena because we got sprinklers on. I've seen a rain delay inside. So I've kind of seen it all. What I've never seen until this headline, which is a great headline delivered by Reuters, Fish Cake Fury sees Norwegian game canceled after VAR protest. The matchup, I'm going to read right from the story. The match in the New England top flight between Rosenberg BK in Lillestrøm was suspended on Sunday after fans showed their displeasure with video assistant referee by throwing fish cakes onto the field. The protest started from kickoff. After a 2-minute bombardment of fish cakes, the referee stopped the match and sent the players to the dressing room. The match was restarted, but then the protest intensified with tennis balls and smoke bombs being thrown onto the field. The referees abandoned the match around the half-hour mark with the score tied 0-0. Fish cake delay. Fish cake delay? That's a new one on me. Raining fish cakes out here. Fish cake. All right. By the day, for those of you who are hoping for a sip of the day, we had to wake up with Larry, so that ship has already sailed. A fish cake delay. Didn't have that on my bingo card. Freaking. You got it. I got to tell you, man. Soccer fans are out of fucking control. They really are. We see it internationally all the time. It crept onto what? Our nation's soil with the Copa America thing and all the fans storming the gates of Miami's Hard Rock Stadium to get in there. Soccer fans are out of pocket. They seriously are. I kind of respect it. By the way, I also respect this. Stephen A. Smith asked about, Skip Bayless is going to be stepping down. Look, a lot of people have weighed in on this, and basically the ratings of Skip Bayless's TV show no longer justified his salary. And, the word on the street is basically Skip Bayless got fired by Fox. Now, he's going to have the kind of firing that is the most gentle possible, laying down, allowing him to have a last show as possible here. But basically, Fox Sports said, hey, Skip, we're paying you like $8 million a year and no one's watching. So we gotta wrap this up. Stephen A. Smith was asked about reuniting with Skip Bayless, and he said, reuniting with Skip is not what I want my future to be. In other words, I already used that guy to grow this platform. The show is better without him, and I'm not going back to him. Who is out there? Look at it this way. On the day Skip Bayless stops talking about sports, the very next morning, who's going to wake up, sit up in bed, and be like, God, I wish I could hear what Skip Bayless had to say about this today? No one. No one will miss him when he disappears. No one. So this is the world we're living in. Skip Bayless, unloved, unused. Somebody's going to try to recycle him. Somebody is. By the way, thank you very, very much to the postman. Oi, oi, oi! Look at that. Just a little sprinkle. Going to put it in the jar. Oi, oi, oi. Name that fish. Yeah. Frickin' fish cakes, right? Is that what we got?
Name that fish.
Didn't think I had that one ready to go, did you? Fish cake delay. You must be watching soccer if. Fish cake delay. Let's see. Last thing I guess I need to let you know about. And we'll do a little countdown. Folks, we are 1 day away from the start of 49er training camp. We are 4 days away from the start of the Summer Olympics. I am looking forward to both of these things happening. 12 days away from Jack's 5th birthday. It's going to be a big to-do in this household. 31 days away from Ozzy's birthday. The boys are very, very focused on their birthdays right now. Very excited. 19 days away from 49er football preseason action against the Tennessee Titans. And as I've told you a couple times here, 49 days from now, it is 49ers and Jets Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 boom, dun, dun. And there you go. The only other thing I need to let you know is that we always like to celebrate like this day in history, what happened, what album dropped, what movie came out, what happened. How about this? 41 years ago today. 41 years ago today. Mr. Mom hit theaters. Mr. Mom hit theaters for the first time. Great movie. Michael Keaton, Terry Garr, Martin Mull, who just passed away, by the way. Martin Mull is in there 41 years ago today. Isn't that special? Isn't that special? Dale says, we are 2 days away from Grant Cohn talking about Purdy throwing a pick in practice. I mean, if you are, shame on you. If you haven't learned completely, there's someone who's worth ignoring. There you go. By the way, boom, look at Rob C-Note. Rob C-Note putting on the big boy pants, getting it done. Hold on. Is this the right one right here? Ladies and gentlemen, Rob C-Note has appeared in the chat once again with a great degree of generosity. Thank you very much to Rob C-Note. Dropping a hundo on us here saying, for your information, I was made in Japan. I was at Dodger Stadium on Saturday. 10,000 Asians wearing Ohtani jerseys. Farhan completely fucked that signing up. I don't think he was actually coming to San Francisco, but still, Farhan sucks. Rob, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Rob could have probably signed Shohei Ohtani. He seems to have the money to do it. Yeah, the Giants should have put $1 trillion into Shohei Ohtani. But like the Dodgers are offering what? Well, here's $1 trillion. $1 trillion. We're going to offer you more than our franchise is worth. Because that's how good you are. That's how important you are. And again, Rob was just in Japan and he saw 10,000 Japanese wearing an Ohtani jersey. Apparently, the town that he's from, like everybody wears a Shohei Ohtani jersey on days where he's pitching. Mark Graves, thank you, Mark, putting $5 in there. Here's $5 for the Ozman. Jack's turning 5, Ozzy's turning 3. Big moments. Big moment. Jack, as far as Jack is concerned, like he's losing his virginity on his 5th birthday. Jack is convinced that he is now gonna be a man. Like he's old now that he's 5. Mr. Mom is 41 and my son's about to be 5. The time moves fast. Time moves fast. Thank you so much for the generous super chats. Thank you so much for not just following me to a show today, but getting to the first show, finding the glitch, and then finding the second show. Thank you very, very much for being here. I know that my friend Cyrus will be joining us a little bit later this week. We will be reporting from training camp when that opens up, maybe later this week, next week. And here we go, folks. We are about to officially kind of exit lame, dead part of the summer and move into, thanks to the Summer Olympics, a little bit more to talk about, a little bit more fun to have. Football is back, baby.
Maximum football!
Dale says, hey, get Matt Mayock on Matt Mayoko will be joining us soon. I saw him at the Ike's grand opening. It was great to see. Great to see Matt Mayoko. So he will be coming on by soon. Hopefully our friends Dave Lombardi, Guy Haberman will be coming on by soon. I'm really enjoying Chase Sr.'s content. Want to do some stuff with him. And of course, yours truly, Larry Krueger. 3 days a week for Wake Up. We hope you join us then. In the meantime, all y'all, thank you for being here. You are my kind of folks, my kind of people. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers. Thank you so very, very much. And please do remember that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone.